Hello. Okay, so this is a very basic introduction to Islamic prayer. Praying is something we are doing 5 times a day, inshaAllah. So the first thing is you'll need to find out what the prayer times are for the place you're in. So now you can look that up online quite easily these days, alhamdulillah. So you can just look up the place that you are, type it in online, and then find the prayer times for the whole day. So that's one way of doing it. Or you can get apps on your phone. If you don't mind using your mobile phone, then I have an app called Pillars, and it just tells me every time there's a prayer, and then I can just go and pray as soon as I hear that alert. So it's usually handy to look at the times though before your day begins, because once you get into it, because if you need to do anything that day, and these are new habits for you, then you can work them around the prayer times to make it easier for yourselves, if possible. So if you know that you're at work that day and you can choose when to have your lunch break, then if you know that the prayer time is going to be at 12, then you might be able to organise your break to be starting at 5 to 12, for example. If you're going to be outside at a prayer time, as in not in your usual environments where you keep your prayer mat that you use at home, you can get sort of these. This was the gift, alhamdulillah. But you can get something to take with you to use as a prayer mat when you're outside. Or you can, if you're out somewhere in someone else's home and they're not a practicing Muslim, you could ask them if you could just borrow a large bath towel or something to pray on. Or if you're outside, let's say you've gone shopping, then you can find a private place to pray, and then you could use something like a long coat to pray on as a surface so that you're not directly on the ground. Okay, so that is right. So then the important thing to know, as well as the times, is the direction. So it's something that unites all Muslims, that we all pray towards the Kaaba. So, subhanallah, everybody is praying in a kind of united way across the world, because we're all praying in that direction from our own place on the map. So this came with that prayer mat I just showed you. This is how we used to do it when I reverted. We used to just get a compass and find out which direction to pray, and then it had a little book, well it still has, so you can find out like UK was at the back because it's in alphabetical order, and then it had UK, you could look up which part you were in, let's say Manchester 255. This is really old school now, isn't it? But nice. So then you would look up 255 and then find the right angle, and then you would. Okay, so nowadays I guess you can do this on your mobile phone. I haven't tried it, but I think you can do it on the prayer apps. It'll show you which direction to choose. So when you know the direction you're going to pray, then in this room it's that direction. So this is my prayer mat I usually use, so you point it in that direction. Then you're going to sort of start by standing here. You have to take your shoes off. Okay, so you could have socks or bare feet, and then you're going to be sort of, show you that angle again. You're going to be starting by standing sort of at the bottom of the mat so that you have enough room, and then if you're quite tall like I am, then you're going to use most of the mat. So your position, by the time you have your forehead on the ground and your hands, it's kind of like that part is going to be on the ground, then you're going to be sort of here. inshaAllah. Okay, so you need to have something in front of your if you're sort of in public, then you don't want people walking in front of you when you're praying, so you'll need to just place something in front. And you don't want to be kind of praying towards, let's say, a picture or anything, because it gives the impression a little bit like you're praying to the thing. So you need to have something kind of like neutral, or just don't have any distractions in front of you. Make it easy for yourself, inshallah. Okay. If for any reason you can't find out the direction, if you're in a public prayer room, somebody might have drawn a little arrow somewhere in the room to show you the direction, but if not, then we follow our heart and just pray, because we don't want to miss the prayer just because of not knowing the exact direction. So the movements for the prayer are very specific, and you'll need to sort of practice it. And then we say the prayers in Arabic. So we need to actually learn the words for each part of the prayer. So if this seems a bit intimidating for you as a new revert, then, or if you're just wondering if you're going to be able to do this, then everything we always say to just ask Allah to make it easy, because this is something positive we're doing. So we set our intention that we want to do something, and then ask Allah to make this easy for me. Then I would just say, Allah, make it easy for me to learn these prayers, and then just learn the things you need to be saying in your prayer and practice saying them and the pronunciation. And gradually, because we do it so often, you're going to have loads of practice. And one thing I was told when I became Muslim was, you're not going to be punished for doing something wrong. So don't think along those lines, because we're learning and we have a good intention and we want to pray. So that's the main thing to think about. So the words that I said, yes. Okay, so one thing I haven't said yet, which is, I'm going to talk about it more in another video, is preparing to pray. We need to be clean. So there's a specific way to wash before praying. And then we need to be covering ourselves in an appropriate way. So yeah, this was the jacket I wanted to wear for the video, but ideally it would be something that comes to here. And then if you don't know how to cover your head, I mean, I'm rubbish at this kind of thing, you could just wear, or you don't have this kind of materials yet, you can just put your hood up. So it's basically covering your head and your hair, your neck, and then covering your shape as much as possible all the way down, and as a mark of respect to Allah while you're praying, and the rest of the time, inshallah. So I think some people have a kind of dress that they put on top of everything when they're about to pray, just to make sure that everything's sort of like perfectly covered. Yeah, so that is that. Let's think what else. How to pray, when to pray, where to pray. If you're outside at a prayer time, if you know you're always going to be at work, then you can find a place and then always use that place to pray. And some places have got prayer rooms, so you might be pleasantly surprised. If you're at appointments, then quite a lot of hospitals and things have a prayer room, so do airports and so on. And if you're at home, then you could just pray anywhere in your house. I think some people like to have a set place so that they can keep everything neatly. Yep, so I think I will pause here. That's your very basic introduction to prayer. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.